into the spring. We just spent the whole day in Bolinas, California with my mom at the beach and the dogs, and everything is just so beautiful. The air out here is amazing. I grew up out here, so all the smells give me feelings of amazing nostalgia. And the spring water too is just gonna hit home. We're gonna be at the Red Rock Beach Spring in just a couple minutes, and we will fill up 2 whole weeks worth of water. That's 14 3-gallon glass carboys. We go through one of those 3-gallon glass carboys each day.
And what's over here on the right?
You're looking at the Bolinas Lagoon. A lagoon that is filled up with silt over the years. It's a very special pit stop for migrating birds. So the locals around here really treasure it. Oh look, it's Red Rock Beach Spring. We can park our car right next to it. Fill up a trunk load of spring water. Hey, we're at Red Rock Beach Spring, and I want to show you this system I have going. So every time we fill up a 3-gallon glass carboy, treating our water like wine, fill it up with the cork there, cap it off with the cork, then get right back on with another jug. That way we can be here for just a half an hour. We have like 42 gallons, and this is flowing at about 1.5 gallons a minute. Filling up the trunk, keeping every bottle as secure as possible so that they don't clank around turns on our drive home. I've broken many 3-gallon glass jugs before, but sometimes I've broken them because they'll heat up during the hot weather, and the cork, instead of getting pushed up, will just stay there, and the whole thing will build up pressure, and then if you just tap it, it'll like explode, implode, just due to the building up pressure. Plus we're going, actually we're not going down in elevation or up, it's just the heat expanding air. Now if you look over here, a lot of the beach goers today are checking out the tail end of a most wonderful and glorious sunset. There's a nice belt of fog, and that belt of fog for all of our San Francisco dwellers is over your city right now, like all of summer. But right around now in August is when things will start to warm up for our Southern Bay Area folks. So many people around the Bay Area come to this spring to fill up. They are made of this water. They are 70% wild Marin County water. It's true. This whole day we've just been supercharged. Man, look at that. That's just so amazing. We have been supercharged on a lot of medicinal mushrooms, on berries, on really intense smoothies. We've been doing acrobatics at the beach. We've been playing with the dogs. We are just really happy that we get to end our day by filling up on the way home, and then when we get home we'll just have the most amazing dinner and then continue to work on our passion. Because we're so charged, we are able to work on our passion all day long without burning out. That's the way. That's what we invite you to do. Oh yeah. So I refuse to put a regular windshield wiper fluid into my windshield wiper container here. So I just put spring water and a little bit of organic soap. So I'm always carrying around spring water, wiping my windshield with spring water, blessing the earth instead of polluting the earth every time I need to wipe my windows. Boom. That's how it's done. Obviously, if it freezes, it'll freeze. But usually when it freezes around here, we don't wipe window the other way around. It's all good. So nature provides. Not only is Mother Earth giving us unlimited spring water at 1.5 gallons per minute all day long for thousands and thousands of years at no cost, she's also giving us some watercress. This is all watercress, and it's completely edible. When you do choose to gather watercress, always clean it really well. I mean, like way more. You need to clean it way more than most vegetables because there could be all kinds of bacteria on it. So you just really clean it. Maybe even give it a hydrogen peroxide quick bath. And then you have, you know, super dark, wild, mineral dense, chlorophyll dense, medicinal green leafy vegetables. Moving on over here, we have another green leafy, or a green meaty leaf. In this case, horsetail grows out. Now this horsetail is consuming spring water, and our spring water has a decent amount of silica in it. I forget what it is. It might be like 15 parts per million. You can go to one of my blog posts at christianbates.com, just search in there and you'll see it. I'll put a link in the description for that to see all the nutritional mineral analysis that we did for testing this spring. And so you're getting some really nutritious horsetail here, which is a great silica beauty supplement. You just pick it off, dry it, make sure there's no shale rock in it. So in this case, you'd have to clean this stuff really well, not because it's dirty with any kind of bacteria, but because it could have little rocks in it. And then you just add that to any kind of tea you're brewing. It tastes very nice. It's considered the highest silica herb ever. There's other herbs out there like oat straw and nettle and even cannabis leaf that are considered really high in silica, which is when you combine spring water with more silica in your diet, you're getting like super clean ways of beautifying your body and your life.
And this is our view as we're collecting spring water in the early evening. It's like 8:30, 8 or 8:30. Marin County, California, one of the most beautiful places ever on earth. We are so, so blessed. And check out the moon. Check it out. Make a wish.
What do you want to tell the people?
That they have the power.
Now we're almost done filling the trunk with all of these glass carboys. Here I'm getting everything really snug. So let's do a little question and answer on what are the best ways to bottle your spring water. Now I like to get the 3-gallon jugs, and for most people 3-gallon is really reasonable. It's not too heavy, it's not too light. There are 5 and 6-gallon glass jugs. For a lot of people that's really heavy and dangerous and slippery, and 3-gallon is still pretty heavy and can be slippery, but doing like 1-gallon containers you would need a lot, and so you might as well go for the 3-gallon. You can get these between $23 and sometimes over $50 depending on where you look. Sometimes Amazon.com will have a good deal. Sometimes your local water store might have a good deal. Try to get a bunch and get a discount. You kind of negotiate with your local, water store bottling dealer. And we put these on crocks, so flip them over on one of those 2-gallon crocks. And the spigot, sometimes you can upgrade the spigot to like going from like a BPA weird old rubber plastic spigot. You could upgrade to like some kind of stainless steel or even copper spigots are out there, even brass, although I think brass always had lead in it, I'm not sure, but that maybe not brass. We have corks, so instead of putting a plastic top that these usually come with, you can upgrade to silicone tops. And then in my opinion, upgrading another step further is doing the natural cork. Not the agglomerated, glued together cork, but an actual full oak piece, oak cork. And just go to your local hardware store and see if they have this size. Most hardware stores have a lot of corks, but never this big. But just see if they do. And if they don't, you might have to look around on the internet, take some measurements. I don't know offhand like what the millimeter is, but you're just gonna have to like experiment, maybe get a couple different kinds. And these glass jugs are all made in Italy. There used to be Mexican ones that were lower price point, but those got discontinued a few years ago. So everything here is imported. And that's why these jugs are, you know, valuable. So when you get them, though, just take really good care of them. You will probably break them from time to time, and that's just the game you play with glass. And it's worth it. And so I keep them in these wonderful used by me many times grocery bags, so that if it did ever break, the glass would stay in the bag. The water's going to dump into your car, but that's okay. That's very easy to clean up. And the glass you just want to take right to your recycling if you can, and then just be really careful about it. So we want to treat our water like wine. Keep it in glass with a cork, so it's never touching plastic or any paramagnetic substances like steel. I mean, stainless steel is good, but an upgrade from stainless steel is something that doesn't have iron, because iron still has a little bit of an effect on the crystalline superstructure of the water. And then we want to treat it like wine further steps down the road. We want to keep it cool and dark. And that way your water will still taste fresh instead of flat over the days that you consume it before you fill them back up, fill the jugs back up. So we go every 2 weeks. You can certainly, if your household consumes less water, but you just want to get a lot of jugs so you have like a month's worth, if the spring that you're going for is farther, it could be worth just getting a lot of jugs, and so you only have to go once a month. If you're closer to a spring, then the less jugs you have, the fresher your water always is. So it's totally up to you on how you want to do it, but make sure you do it. And just, you know, the filtered water, I mean, that's good for your shower, but for the water you consume into your sacred vessel, you want to always upgrade away from tap water to the very best water on the planet, and that is a low mineral content, fresh spring. Beth Ann and I, Beth Ann behind the camera,
Hey guys.
Hannibal Goddess Beth Ann, we've both been drinking this water for just over 4 years. When we met, I was just discovering this spring. I've been drinking mostly spring water for a few years before that, but I was having to travel around because I didn't know that this was in the same county as me. And I was kind of doing a lot of bottled spring waters, which weren't necessarily treated right. It's kind of old. Another way of comparing spring water is to oil. Now, oil oxidizes really quickly, so when you buy your oils, whether it's olive oil or chia oil or coconut oil, you want to get the freshest pressed state as possible, kept in dark glass. And same with our water. We want as fresh of a bottling time as possible, and by having ourselves in control of that, then you're going to have really clean fuel. Most oils out there are like old and oxidized, but we don't know that because we can't taste it unless we've had truly fresh oil. Then we know the difference. You'll never crave what you never had. Same with spring water. Someone could have tap water their whole life and never know that it tastes pretty bad and like metallic and doesn't feel that hydrating. Then when you upgrade to, say, filtered water, then you're like, oh my gosh, I can never have unfiltered water again. Then when you upgrade to fresh spring water, then you're like, I can barely do the filtered water, maybe in a smoothie, but water by itself always has to be the fresh spring water because that's what feels good.